Good evening. My name is actually Fairweather, and I'm just going to do two pieces here, and then I'm coming back later on. My first piece concerns an extremely sad death that there was recently in the world of entertainment, and I thought I should do some fitting tribute for it, and it goes like this. There was once a little box in the corner of the room, and people huddled round it in the evening gloom. It worked its simple magic in simple black and white, with simple little programmes for an hour or two each night. Simple entertainment from a simple little show. The Queen got coronated there. Then it began to grow. Another channel came along, excitement it went up. Imports from America, the '66 World Cup. More people were watching and it wasn't getting duller, for then in 1968 the picture changed to colour, and through the 1970s it continued a pace with Morecambe Wise and Poldark's sport and pictures sent from space. And through the 1980s it continued on song. But then as time kept passing by, it started to go wrong. For in the 1990s, new channels you had to buy and all the sport that you were watching disappeared into the sky. And then in the noughties, the regions lost their voice. It was replaced by dumbed-down drivel marketed as choice. But you couldn't watch the cricket on terrestrial TV. You couldn't watch the other sports that you once got for free. World in Action, Cook Report, Survival had all gone, replaced by Ant and Dec and Simon, broadcast for too long. Tomorrow's world became today, the future had appeared. The decade of the Sex Olympics Nigel Neal feared. And now, of course, it's come around to what we've got today, where rolling news, dumbed-down depression can't be kept at bay, with wild soap opera storylines as far as we can see, fictitious nightmares of the world they call reality. Now, there was always trash TV. It wasn't always great. There was always rubbish there that made us so irate. There was always rubbish there that always caused a row. And there was always drivel there, just not as much as now. But nature, of course, creates a balance to make everything all right. Because it's the fact that there's Nows on TV that we're all here tonight. Thank you. Yes, and now that you've just about done down TV now, about as far as it can go, I rather fear that a radio will be the next medium to follow suit, and which I also rather fear means that Radio 4 will probably be the first in the firing line. Indeed, I rather fear further that the process may have already started, because we are, of course, in the just in the early stages of October at the moment, which means, of course, that in the marketing calendar, alas, Christmas is now upon us. And with that, unfortunately, in mind, if you tune into Radio 4 for the shipping forecast any time after the 1st of December this year, I rather fear you'll in fact hear something like this. And now on Radio 4, with the time coming up to 10 minutes to 1, here is the shopping forecast for Christmas 2012 issue of the Debt Office. The general synopsis on 01/12/2012, valid for the next 24 days. Beginning with the forecast for supermarkets and other out-of-town developments. Car parking poor, trolley stocks low, falling quickly. Crowds in store high, stress levels high, rising quickly. Turkey stocks high, but falling steadily. Bernard Matthews profits good. Babies on special offer across the country. Chance of stocks lasting to Christmas low. Personal automatic, Mr. Men's special offer aimed at children, avoid immediate vicinity. Ross and Cromarty are the Christmas checkout temps, ability to serve you quickly, poor. Fitzroy is your temporary checkout manager, competency low, queue levels high, rising steadily. Fast bet he will be paid off by Eddie Stone, your store manager, annoyed at queue lengths, force 7 anger expected soon. And now, moving on to the forecast for high street shops and department stores. Iceland, more annoying seasonal TV commercials expected soon, Kerry Katona's salary high. This year's must-have Christmas toy, stocks extremely low are falling quickly. Attention all shoppers. W.H. Smith will be playing Mistletoe and Wine by Cliff Richard across their tannoys regularly during this period. To avoid acute stress increase, it is advised that all shoppers avoid these vicinities. Waterstones, offering a 3 for 2 on Jeffrey Archer novels, stocks very high, holding steady. Toys R Us, high pressure advertising leading to high pressure pestering from children. Chance of children missing TV adverts, very poor. German bikes, price high, build quality high, holding steady. British bikes, price high, build quality low, falling apart quickly. John Lewis, signage as to what each floor of the shop sells, poor. Ease of you getting lost, high. Ease of losing your children, even higher. You will lose them when they join the queue for Santa's Grotto. On finding them, queue length high, parking meter time low, a force 8 squalls expected, followed by depression. And now, moving on to the forecast for the London area. Southwest trains reliability, mainly variable, becoming poor. Ticket prices high, rising quickly, chance of standing remotely, high. Oxford Street on Christmas Eve, every man for himself, well, what else did you expect? And that concludes the shopping forecast for Christmas 2012. Tune in on December the 26th when we will have the shopping forecast for the January sales 2013. And now the news with Peter Donaldson. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Stephen. I'm a regular attender of the Hanger Farm Poets, and no, I'm not from Scotland. I'm going to start with an autumn poem, which is not one of my own, because I've not managed to do an autumn poem myself as yet. This is by Ted Hughes, and it's from his book Season Songs, which was first published in 1976. It's simply called Leaves. Who's killed the leaves? Me, says the apple. I've killed them all. Fat as a bomb or a cannonball. I've killed the leaves. Who sees them drop? Me, says the pear. They will leave me all bare, so all the people can point and stare. I see them drop. Who'll catch their blood? Me, says the marrow. I'll get so rotund, they'll need a wheelbarrow. I'll catch their blood. Who'll make their shroud? Me, says the swallow. There's just time enough before I pack all my spools and be off. I'll make their shroud. Who'll dig their grave? Me, says the river. With the power of my clouds, a brown deep grave I'll dig under my floods. I'll dig their grave. Who'll be their parson? Me, says the crow. For it is well known, I study the Bible right down to the bone. I'll be their parson. Who'll be chief mourner? Me, says the wind. I will cry through the grass. The people will pale and go cold when I pass. I'll be chief mourner. Who'll carry the coffin? Me, says the sunset. The whole world will weep to see me lower it into the deep. I'll carry the coffin. Who'll sing the psalm? Me, says the tractor, with my gear grinding gottle. I'll plough up the stubble and sing through my throttle. I'll sing the psalm. Who'll toll the bell? Me, says the robin. My song in October will tell the still gardens the leaves are over. I'll toll the bell. And moving on to some of my own work, and I'd like to start by a poem I read in memory of a man called Ron Hansford, who went as an attender of the Hanger Farm Poets and published poetry for more than 40 years, and sadly missed. But I wanted to write something in his memory, and because it was quite difficult because I didn't know the man that well. So what I thought I'd do is I'd write about one specific memory I had of him, which is one I had at an open mic group, and he was reading a poem about a camel. And I wrote this. It's called Remembering Ron Hansford. Just once, the arid desert was brought to Salisbury, a place famed for its greenery. In those few short stanzas, a four-legged beast, built to withstand the intense conditions, was given life. Its own private hump reservoir meant it could afford to stand nonchalantly, unfazed, flick away flies with its whipped tail, spit whenever it liked, whilst people rationed water under cloth shields. Despite January and its swirling weather systems, water thrown against the glass, mouths dried in the imagined sun, listeners forced to quench their thirsts. And I'm going to end with a couple of poems on the media. And the first one's called Strategy. And so, the editor gives his brief. He himself may well admit there are no new tactics, but where is the need to alter when current practice works so well? Ahead of the game, he knows quiet streets never sell, that no crime plus no wrongdoing equals no story, and so sets a stall out to attack the people down to take the flak, with today's target painted on them, so a proud nation can sling its arrows. And so a seduced public traipse through their lives, expressions dark and gloomy as the news cloud they walk under. And this other one, the media poem, is called The Circus. People flock from miles around to watch the elastic suppleness of the acrobats, wonder what keeps the tightrope walker from falling, laugh themselves silly at the clowns. Rightly or wrongly, there are no animals anymore. Come morning, the big top has left town, and the population wakes to a circus of a different kind, one in the hands of editors. They require no safety net, selecting targets as they do, slinging stories and accusations, where any damage caused can last far longer than a custard pie in the face. Thank you.
Three poems are my own work, and my first three I tried to be light-hearted. These are a bit more serious. The word. I can't say the word. It's stuck fast between my teeth. It stays teetering on the tip of my tongue. Should I gently ease it forth, dribbling out honey sweet, or shout this word far flung? spitting the word, it flies with a sting in its tail, or oozing with cream, the sweetness much too thick. Wrapped around a gift, it may sound quite well. Not spoken in truth, it doesn't mean a thing. But spoken with a gentle touch, it means so much more than gifts and flowers given with unspoken words and gestures. In private, spoken quietly to the one you hurt before, sorry becomes the healing salve on the wound before it festers. The struggle. Coming into the world is never easy, and apparently he was big. She had died because of him, or so they said, so it was a struggle to justify his existence. Learning to read and write came as a struggle to him. He was no scholar, and as he struggled to find the word, he began to dread the cuff of the ear or the swish of the cane. Finding a girl had been quite easy. She'd struggled a bit at first, but her protest had been quite weak, and life's struggles had been made easier with a wife to care for him. He'd struggled through the muck and bullets, reminding himself this was a glorious war, and life would be plain sailing when he got back, and they were once more together. Bringing up 2 children has never been easy. They'd struggled to make ends meet, but they'd managed, and with their mother's brains inherited, his kids had gone to college. It was a struggle now to fasten his coat button. His fingers, stiff and swollen, couldn't seem to push the over-large into the under-small. She'd gone from him only this morning, quietly shedding this mortal coil. He would join her, his heart decided, as it peacefully gave up the struggle. And my last poem is a tribute to my mother-in-law, who was sadly passed a brown envelope. The train next arriving, the boy passed the envelope, brown and threatening. Awareness of the news it brought flooded her with dread. But missing was the word she read. Missing, missing, not dead. The train next arriving. Daily she sits and waits in silence and in hope. Steam replaced by diesel, she scans travellers' weary faces, studies faces in the crowd for a flash of recognition, peers at the face of the beggar, light of memory blown from his mind, along with the leg he has lost. Flag waves, whistle blows, mind the doors please. Bluebirds fly over white cliffs again, barbed wire gone, and now the children play. Beachy Head once more a place for suicidal leaps. The train now leaving calls out. He never caught the last train home in a suit of demobbed blue. Khaki the colour of his shroud, dog tag still in place. He lies uncovered, undiscovered, but not forgotten.
My name is another Hazel Ponsford, and I'm going to read the words, first of all, from Send in the Clowns, from the musical A Little Night Music. by Stephen Sondheim. Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in mid-air. Oh, send in the clowns. Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps tearing around, one who can't move. Where are the clowns? Oh, send in the clowns. Just when I'd stopped opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours, making my entrance again with my usual flair, sure of my lines. No one is there. Don't you love farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that you'd want what I want. I'm sorry, my dear. But where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Oh, quick! Send in the clowns. What a surprise. Who could foresee I'd come to feel about you what you'd feel about me? Why, only now, when I see that you've drifted away, what a surprise. Oh, what a cliché. Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Losing my timing this late in my career. And where are the clowns? Quick, send in the clowns. Oh, don't bother. They're here. Well, thank you very much. In contrast, here is a poem by Elizabeth Edwards, and it's called That's Show Business. I've got this brilliant idea for a play, a comedy drama come thriller, and when I've knocked it into shape, I'll send it to Jonathan Miller. I'm giving the project all I've got and hope that when it's done, it will be a huge success and have a 10-year run. I've thrown in a bit of everything: humour, pathos, sin, murder most foul, and a song or two, with music by Irving Berlin. There's a beautiful heroine, sweet and good, with a social climbing mother, and a father in financial straits who stabs his wealthy brother. Handsome chauffeur gets the blame. He's picked up the blood-stained knife. And when the police come to take him away, he sings, "Ah, sweet mystery of life." The heroine weeps, for she loves the boy and vows to become a nun. Her mother says, "Oh, darling, oh, you mustn't be rash. Of the fish in the sea, he's but one." She really wants the girl to wed the belted Earl of Dover. He's 1,500 grand a year, would keep them all in clover. The servants are questioned by the police about the ghastly crime. The father breaks down and confesses all, and everyone sings just in time. The girl says, "How can I live with the fact that my father is guilty of slaughter?" Her mother says, "Oh, don't give it a thought, for you're not that man's daughter." The hero is released from jail and walks in, relief all over his face. He throws his arms around the girl and they sing Amazing Grace. The mother says, "Oh, you can't marry him. He's only a common chauffeur." The boy replies, "I'm in disguise. My father is Sheikh in all over." Or it gets worse. The mother jumps for joy and cries, "Now I'll never want for my rent. But I hate to think my daughter will spend the rest of her life in a tent." Meanwhile, the father has poisoned himself. He's lying in a coma. Everyone gathers around him and sings a selection from Oklahoma. What's that you say? Oh, I might have known. What an infernal bore. Some other bloody genius has done it all before.
Thank you very much, Tony, Stephen, Hazel and Dina. Now we welcome back the ladies of the Kitchen Sink, Jane, Mary, Pip, Stevie, Isabel and Ulrika. As I said earlier, they've been singing together for more than 10 years and still going strong. They've appeared at music festivals, weddings, parties and local charitable events. They enjoy many different kinds of music, and their choice of songs in the two sections this evening reflects their various tastes. They're busy with day-to-day lives, family and careers, but they make time for Kitchen Sink. They love singing and hope we've enjoyed listening to them, and we certainly have. They very much appreciate being invited here this evening, and I know that Myra is very grateful to you all for coming along to this poetry evening.